Hi Internet. So recently I was shopping online for a Darth Vader helmet for an art project. And while I was able to find a lot of information about the higher end replica type helmets, and a couple forums dedicated to building your own screen accurate helmet or costume, I wasn't able to find a whole lot of good information about the lower end helmets. It seemed to be very confusing as to which manufacturer was which and what helmets were what. Anyways, I ended up with these two here in my possession, and I figured I'd do a quick video showing them off. These two seem to be the most common helmets available online. This one, the larger of the two, is the Rubies Deluxe Helmet. Now, often this is labeled online the Rubies Supreme Helmet. Even StarWarsHelmets.com, which is a great site, has it listed as the Supreme Helmet. The box clearly says it's the Rubies Deluxe Helmet, so I don't know where the Supreme comes from. Maybe there was a different a name for it or something, but nonetheless, the box says Deluxe. This is the Dawn Post Standard Helmet. This helmet is no longer manufactured, but it's still very readily available online. When they stopped manufacturing this helmet, Dawn Post sold the molds to Rubies, who now manufactures this helmet using those same molds. And from what I can tell, the Rubies version is pretty much identical. I haven't seen it in person, but from the photos it looks identical to this one, except for the tusks might be a little bit different, but I can't say for sure. So let me start with this one. First off, clearly the Deluxe helmet is quite larger than this one, and is advertised as being made using the same molds they used to make the actual helmets for Empire Strikes Back. So that's kind of cool. So clearly much larger. Another thing that I noticed as soon as I got it is it has sort of this roughing or matte texture on certain areas of the helmet, which I found strange. And then after doing some research, it turns out that the Darth Vader helmet used in the original movies was not all black. I thought it was. I think most people do, but it's not. It's actually two-toned. It's gray and black. What's more, it's asymmetrical. So that was kind of strange. What they've done to mimic that gray and black paint job is they've roughed or matte finished some of the areas. So I don't know if you can see, but this cheek has a matte finish, whereas this cheek is glossy. So I guess if you're a purist, that might be a good thing. For me, it makes the helmet seem a little strange looking. You might not notice it from 5 feet away. When you get up close, it, I don't know, just seems odd, especially if you're not aware that the original helmet was two-toned. So the helmet is two parts, as is the other. It has this D-shaped or horseshoe-shaped peg at the top, and then a horseshoe-shaped slot in the helmet, so that when you put it together, it lines up square without any fuss. The helmet has straps to hold it on and is lined with foam. The foam is actually pretty nice because it's not just foam, but it's covered in fabric. So that's pretty cool. Tusks are metal. One thing that I found surprising was how hard it was to see out of. When the mask is on, your face doesn't really come all the way forward. So you lose a lot of peripheral vision just from that. And then also the lenses, the edges of the lenses are so warped that anything in that area is blurry and warped. So you get a lot of tunnel vision. You can really only see through this part of the lens. You can, however, when you're in the helmet, look out through the bottom. So you can kind of see your feet, which is helpful if you're trying to walk around stuff. It's a big helmet. It is definitely hard to get around in. If you're looking for something for like a Halloween costume, I might shy away from this. I would have trouble wearing it for more than 10 minutes without getting really frustrated. Also, it's very big on your head. You gotta remember that in the movie, the person who played Darth Vader was a very big guy, and he was wearing big armored shoulder pads. When you put this on a normal-sized human without those big shoulder pads, it's a big bell on top of your shoulders. So it does look very nice sitting on the shelf, but again, it's a little tough to wear, but probably just as tough as the one in the movie. This one, the Don Post Standard Helmet, also 2 parts. Does not have any kind of peg system, so when you put on the top, you do have to futz with it a little to get it lined up, but that's not a big deal. Much more comfortable to wear, in my opinion. No foam inside and no straps, it just fits over your face, but your face is much further forward in the mask, and the lenses seem to be less warped than the Supreme. So you got much more peripheral vision. You can see clearer, and being more forward in the mask, your mouth is closer to the vents. So I find it a little easier to breathe. Not that it's hard to breathe in that, but it's sort of stifling. Also, because it's smaller, it doesn't seem as silly when it's on your head, in my opinion. But you know. Personal opinions and all. There is one thing that I should point out. There's a very large mark on the top of the helmet where the plastic is injected into the mold. It's about 1/2 inch wide. It's on the top, so most people won't see it, but if you do see it, it's very noticeable. This one has a injection mark in the same point, but it's much smaller. So not a big deal, but something to notice. No two-tone paint job on this one. It's all gloss black, and yeah. This one online sells usually for about $100. This one I see usually retail. They're like $32, $35, somewhere in there. On eBay, you can get them sub $30, including shipping, usually. So in my opinion, if you just want a helmet to wear around for a costume or to goof around with, this is definitely the better one. It's much cheaper and much easier to wear for a prolonged amount of time. If you want something to go on a shelf that looks real pretty, and you don't want to spend the money on one of the higher end replica ones, this is a good one. So that's about it. I hope you found this informative.